Yeah, get up and show us the jumper real quick.
The jumper, I mean,
Oh my!
Oh yes.
They've
What
spelled
did it
Titleist
say?
wrong.
I think,
Oh, it's high
you know
before
what,
E.
for £14 it was in TikTok shop, it's pretty good.
You shouldn't
Look,
be shopping there, mate.
yeah.
Rob, this is your Rob, you'd love this. This is something I see you wearing in the pub.
That's my Saturday night date outfit, probably.
It was better than 2 Saturdays ago where you decided to take top off.
Twice.
Inside, it was inside out by the end of the night.
No, it was inside out the first time, and then he put his arms in it, and then turned it around, and realized it was still inside out because he was drunk.
When you've got a body like mine, you can only
It's only fair.
it's only fair the shirt comes off twice.
I don't think the bouncer agreed though, did he?
Yeah, well,
He was quite
he,
diplomatic about it.
he must not like the gingers. He must not like
Yeah. I said to him, "Oh, come on, mate, you're ruining our light," and he goes, "He did it twice." I said,
Oh right,
"Yeah, you're
missed
right."
that. Missed that.
Good knowing you, Rob. See you later.
See you later.
We've also got a gift. I'm going on to a new job, and work got me a mic. So I'll tell you what, we are, for everybody in work to know about this podcast, either I'm talking about it too much or we're just going,
Mhm.
we're reaching the far side of Edinburgh now. We went as far as South Edinburgh.
I am quite upset they didn't get everyone. And like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'll mention it in my ex interview.
It does
yeah.
look like something you get on OnlyFans, though. Look at it.
You would know, Rob.
Show the
No, but
public
you're
again.
still talking about the jumper. But sure, we've actually got quite a lot to cover, and I'm going to have to be quite tight on time management today because we've got, I think, 12 questions, and they're all very good ones.
Mhm.
So yeah, this week we are doing a Q&A, and across different platforms, we've had multiple questions. I wasn't sure what to expect, but actually we got a good variety of technique, general questions about pros and sponsorships, and questions that I didn't even think we'd get that are definitely worth discussing, and ones we've probably not covered on the podcast before, which is good. Before that, though, we'll get into weekend's golf. We'll just make it quick, but on the PGA Tour, that was a nervy finish anyway. After what's his name? Sorry, Jacob Bridgeman. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob Bridgeman had a 6-shot lead, and then it whittled down to one playing the last, which, to be honest, was actually quite exciting, but quite nerve-wracking at the same time.
Yeah.
I
But he
felt
was
so
flushing it.
nervous. Felt so nervous for him.
Yeah, he had one bad shot into that par three, which cost him a pretty good bogey actually. And then like Kurt Kitayama and Rory were kind of coming up behind him. So yeah, good effort for him, I reckon.
Yeah, we made it interesting having that 3-footer on the last. He absolutely blasted drive, a brilliant second shot from about 200, 210 to what, about 15, 20 feet, and well, maybe 20 feet, 25 feet, and then he's left it 3 feet short. And just remember
Yeah.
Jordan sitting up going,
It was
Um,
3.5 feet.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, oh
He
my
said he
God.
couldn't feel his hands at all.
yeah, the
on
past
that
last
putt.
couple of holes, he said he had no gauge of pace or anything. He was just hitting it, hoping it was going to get near the hole.
It's so funny. This is a guy that's earned a lot of money over the last few years, and without a win. I think Jordan and I we discussed this. He's had some serious finishes, but it's so different winning out there.
Mm.
Yeah. And so that was good. You obviously outshone Rory in the last day. Rory just struggled to get going. And what about Scotty Scheffler? Maybe we
Oh
mentioned
God.
for him.
I know.
Got it.
Was he dead last after the first day? Had a good week though.
What did he shoot first round? Three over, four over,
He was,
Yeah, three
yeah,
over.
and then finished 12.
he was dead last with what 9 to go on the back nine
Yeah.
of the second round.
Mhm.
There's something going on with his first rounds at the moment. But then that was his what was it? He's finished top 10 since last year's players. That's
I mean,
insane.
he has.
If you
Yeah.
put, I think if you compounded like a quid for every and put a top 10 on him for every of the last 18 events, you'd be good money. Like,
You'd make a profit. Is that what you're saying?
don't know about this betting business, but see,
This
you'd
is
make
our
money.
statistician, Rob Foley here. Is that a better from 100 quid or 120 quid, Rob? Because we got some comments in the 120 yard.
If you win your
As well.
bet, you will win some money. As
Wow. Can you say that again so I can clip it? And then on the DP World Tour, firstly, a shout out to fellow Burgess member Cameron Adam, who finished tied ninth. He's had a very strong. I think he's played 5 events now, and he's made 4 cuts and now top 10.
Yeah,
Very good.
Start. Yeah.
which got him into this week, actually, to be fair. So he's playing the SA Open this week.
Big
Yeah.
purse as well. This one, isn't it?
Yeah, got him into it. So a good week.
Yeah, he
Top
made a
tens,
quid at the
top
weekend.
tens.
And what was the drama? I was on the golf course at the time. Unfortunately, I was probably mentioned that I was playing after quite a hectic Saturday night, put it that way. Went to play a 4-ball match, and after 4 holes, one of the guys had to walk off because he'd food poisoning. So it was me and my playing partner against one guy in like howling conditions on the hilliest golf course ever, and felt really bad. Didn't give many putts, obviously, but I didn't feel bad enough to give him many putts. But it got the stage where like you just felt bad for him. At 7 and 6, walked inside, and you didn't even feel like you'd played a match. So I didn't really see any of the drama unfold in the last day. So I don't know if anybody else can get me up to speed.
It was pretty stop-start. There was a lot of weather delays. But Betsy Jarvis finished birdie eagle to win by 2 or 3, something like that.
Solid.
That's
So
pretty clutch.
can't complain. Yeah,
Good
pretty
stuff.
Well,
Well,
I've got a little story about him. I played the South African Amateur, which was a match play event. So 2 round stroke play, then match play, and he was in it. I think he won the week before the South African stroke play. And on the putting green, him and the other guy, another up and coming South African, were talking, and they were like, "Oh, I'll see you in the final." Like, this is even before the stroke play starts. I'll see you in the final on Sunday. This is how cocky and arrogant they were. And then they both reached the final and played each other.
That's pretty cool.
wow. Yeah, there's a little bit of ego that's needed in this game for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously Scotty Scheffler has the best type. But yeah, you always think about these characters and how they act with people and person, and you never meet your heroes. But I feel like to get that top end of the game, you need a little bit of something, even if it's not. You don't have to be arrogant as such, but you have that some sort of self-belief. But yeah, to say that out loud, then obviously deliver on it is pretty big. Kind of like Ange to get winning something the second season. It was pretty bold to say
Yeah.
that.
I think the arrogance is the arrogance is good until you have a dip, and then it can
Yeah.
really backfire. But if you never really have a dip, then the arrogance will take you. You know, that kind of confidence, like with Rory or Tiger or these guys, it takes you through the whole way as long as you don't have that. You know, we've seen it a few guys that are so good and so confident, and they have one bad season, and then the head goes, and then it's a lot of these guys that just never
You've
get
got a
it back.
mismatch between ability and arrogance.
They spiral.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, on a similar topic, we go to our first question, and it's from PJ Hillman T7F. Interesting last name.
BJ, yeah, I know him.
This was on YouTube Shorts.
That's
and
like
he
one of those
asked-
LPGA Tour players' names.
So his question is, how do you stay calm under pressure when you're playing well and about to win, but feel like you'll choke up?
I'll take this one.
Let's me and Kemp will just take a wee break. I'll go on mute for a second.
Yeah.
Rob, we'll go to you. You've won, and Jordan, you'll get your moment. Don't worry. But Rob, you've won as a pro, a couple of times, and obviously you've been in these positions before. And maybe do you have a story of when you choked up and then got over it, or did you just deliver the first time?
In the pro game, did I deliver the first time? Well, the first time I finished second, the guy was like 8 in the lead, and I finished with 5 birdies, but it didn't really matter. That was to get second. And then I'm trying to think. But then the first time I was really in contention, I won.
So was it tight? What did you do to stay, or what were you telling yourself, say the back 9 or the last 6 holes? What did you maybe building
Yeah,
on your previous experience to make sure you didn't choke up?
I just remember feeling all day that like I was gonna win that one. So that was a pretty comfortable one. I just remember feeling throughout the whole round that like I was gonna win. And but that's when I came off. I was having a really good year. Everyone was kind of clicking. I was really confident in my game, and so that's where like even like I was one back most of the day. He'd make a birdie, I'd make a birdie. He'd make a birdie, I'd make a birdie, and then even going that up 17, I was one back. But I just had a feeling that like it was just going to fall in place for me. I've kind of I was that whole year I was kind of thinking like that, and then it just happened, and I didn't really think at any point that I was in trouble. But another time I remember then at the start of the year in Egypt on the Pro Golf Tour one year, I was in contention, but I was really hitting it poorly, and I just kind of battled my whole way through to be in contention, but really hitting it bad. And I just remember being like the complete opposite of like when am I gonna absolutely, there's gonna be a moment here I'm gonna hit a terrible shot.
Mm-hmm.
and that was really bad mentally because I should have been thinking I can hit it so bad I'm able to deal with it.
Yeah.
like like I've played really bad before and like or hit it terrible and finished two under the last three, or I can make pars and birdies hitting it terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember that one, I was going down this final stretch in contention. I remember I had like a 4 foot birdie putt, and I remember over it thinking, like, oh, I need to make this putt because I might miss a shot coming in, and then I put way too much pressure on making the putt, then obviously missed it, and then that was on 15, and then on 17, like snap hooked the drive. But that was all because I created this mega tension in my head that
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna do something terrible coming because I have no control of my swing. And then from there, I kind of started doing a lot of work on being like, if you're in a situation like that and you're hitting it terrible, you really have to take pride in remembering and like really digging this into your memory that you can hit it terrible and make birdies.
Yeah.
Like you don't, and having that fear of hitting a bad shot, it's normal to have that, but then you have to be like, okay, I reckon I could snap hook it here, but but I've, I know how I've snap hooked it before and made pars
Yeah.
or birdies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important from an amateur's point of view, and I know I've not got the best past in this.
Got the Ratho Club Championship for 2024.
Yeah, it's true. So you'll lean on that. So I guess when I was younger and I really struggled to, it took me a long time to shoot under par in competition. Remember, I used to get into the position and bottle it a lot. And the first time I did it, I then felt so comfortable. It's similar to I used to feel very comfortable in county events, but really uncomfortable in national events. And I guess the point there is that you just need to get comfortable with putting yourself in that position and do it as often as you can. And again, we always joke about when I bottled it on the last tee and the first time I've been in contention in an event in a while. And it was because it was new to me again. So I guess the only way to get over that is to keep doing it until you hit a good shot under pressure. And effectively, you're building a stack of evidence that you are who you say you are. So if you want to be good under pressure, you need evidence to say you are good under pressure. It helps, especially if you're trying to win a tournament, Rob. If you've done it before, you can rely on that. You can lean on that.
Yeah. There's two ways of winning a tournament: when you're really flushing it and you know you're in control of your ball, and then there's where you're not in control of your ball. That's a whole different mental ball game, and you can only the only way of kind of learning is being in that experience.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
getting
But, the Tommy Fleetwood thing,
Yeah.
we touched on that, didn't we? He just needed to put himself in that situation a few more times, and it would happen.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. I
Yeah.
think the kind of you need, no matter what level of the game, you need reps.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be. I mean, I feel like last year I didn't swing at my best, and you were swinging it better than me, Kemp, and I was scoring better. But that's because I was playing a lot more competition golf. So then when I went to play a medal, it just felt like nothing. And if I had a couple of bogeys, then it just have a couple of birdies, and it didn't affect me because it's all relative. So when it feels like the world and you feel like I have to make this 4-footer or I have to hit my shot here, then you're putting so much pressure on yourself. Doesn't mean not to focus, but it's like just relax. You need to have the confidence that even if you hit a bad shot, you're still going to score.
Mhm.
And yeah, every shot matters, but it's kind of how you respond to that as well. So I think reps is a big thing. Talking about reps, question number 2 from PJ Hellman is, how do you repeat your setup every time? And this is quite a funny question because it sounds obvious, but I know for the average golfer, they must look at scratch golfers, pros, and go, but how do they know how far to stand away from the ball every time, get their ball position right? Jordan, I suppose you've done obviously playing at a high level and coaching as well. What would you say to that?
Yeah, practice is probably the main one. But it's like practicing the right way in terms of, so for example, if you need to have like a distance away from the ball, I would actually measure it, whether that be like with your feet or put your club down and have a mark on your club. Like I used to have like a mark on my 7-iron that was like just below the grip, and that's how far away I would stand from the ball. So just it's like muscle memory. As soon as you do it over and over and over and over again, then you'll just feel comfortable in that new position or whatever position that may be. But like alignment sticks and markings on your club shafts, on your alignment sticks, on whatever, just to make sure that it's exactly the same every single time. So you're reducing, again, it's all about reducing variables, especially in a golf swing.
Yeah.
So if you're like making sure that it's absolutely bang on every single time, you're reducing that variable of standing too far away from the ball or having the ball too far back or too far forward in your stance. So definitely like alignment sticks that maybe go through your stance to give you ball position. And then either just pace now and again, alignment sticks across your feet and having the ball in the same position every time. So it's all about just measuring it out to an exact distance and then just hitting balls and balls and balls and balls. And then maybe towards the end of a session, I'd take away your sticks and your markings and actually go into it. I'd be filming at the same time as well. So you can film on with the sticks, take the sticks away, film on without the sticks and see how they compare, just to see how close you actually are.
Yeah, and also I think it's worth saying that, and Rob, you can say this, that pros, when they're on like a long run of events and they're playing events back to back to back, their setups do change and they do need to take a moment and go and reset. I remember Matt Wallace in an interview said that his ball position moves back about a ball every event because he's focusing on ball strike. All he's asked about is strike on the course. So he needs to come off the course, get his alignment sticks out and reset. It's very important.
Yeah. I would just close out by saying that personally, because we're not hit. We hit a decent amount of balls, but I think at any level, even if you're hitting balls once a week or once a month, I would always put down at least one alignment stick or a club, and I do it in between my feet and the ball, and that parallel to the target, and that's whether I'm warming up, practicing, or warming up before a round, because your body, even if you're not a brilliant player, your body is smart. If you're hitting balls and you're aiming right, and you think you're hitting good shots, and after a week, you find yourself hitting pulls and you don't know that you've been aiming right the whole time, and then you fixed your setup without knowing, now you're hitting pulls because you've been training yourself to hit pulls the whole time. Like it's so important. It's like the one controllable, that the ball is standing still. You can control how you set up to the ball, so it is really important. So I'm glad I asked it, but I would just, yeah, keep it simple, put alignment sticks down, and yeah, as Jordan says, record yourself, because you'll even surprise yourself looking back on swings for a month. Like if I look back on my swing from a month ago, it looks so much different than when you're looking at it with um like eyes in the moment. Obviously, you're not going to pick up on these things. So I would
It's,
definitely,
it's another quick tip. It's probably important as well. If you lean on your playing partners, ask your friend, where am I aiming?
yeah,
What's my club face doing? I don't know. It's just simple checks.
yeah. Number 3, which is from a TikTok viewer, and his handle is
He's
ZZZZZZZZZZZZZZZ.
tired, is he?
So question 3, I'm guessing this is to Rob and Jordan. Sorry, there's two parts to this. Question 3, where can you find a sponsor? Rob, Jordan. Oh, I think Jordan's cut out.
Um,
I'll take
There
this
he is.
over then. Yeah. So it depends what level you are. If you're just starting out turning pro, it'll be in your close networking group. So anyone at your local club, usually, try and play with as many people, talk to as many people as you can, get the word out that you're turning pro, that you're looking for sponsors, people to either help your journey and how you can help them back. So you need to, create a whole network usually around your golf club. You want to create maybe a supporters club of people who want to be like within your journey, and have them in like a WhatsApp group. So you have to find a way of giving people value as well, first, before you're actually going to look for people. So it's like, how am I going to give people value? Am I going to get people on board onto my journey? And then either you can create, yeah, like your own supporters club, and then people will join in that, where you have like a few pro-ams you do yourself around your own club, or then you have your own golfing day, and then all these people come, and then you create a whole network around that. And then within that network, you might find like business owners that will be like, listen, I really like this guy, I want to support him, and then that's how you get help in a bigger way by like one main sponsor. But when you're starting out, usually it's more like your network and the people you know at your club, and building like a sort of a club or a big group. And then from that group, then you really, you create value for these people, you make them want to follow you. And then from there, you have like this brochure with like how, some sort of, that explains like how people can help you in a bigger way, in a larger way. And then from that networking group, you'll get bigger players, or you might even get lucky, have one person that really wants to help you, and they'll support you in a much larger way. And then that's basically how it's done at the lower levels. And then once you start playing really well, then you can go into more like, start having management, and or contact big brands yourself and be like, listen, this is kind of the exposure I've got. This is the amount of views of people that are watching these tournaments. Challenge Tour or DP World Tour, they've got data behind how many people are actually watching the events, how many people are watching your like Instagram, or your socials. You can also get the data on that. So you create a document as well on this, and then you can send it out to brands, and then see if you can get sponsored further on in when you make it to a higher level. So those are the kind of the two ways of doing it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose you're obviously, people say, how do you find a sponsor? Of course, as you say, they need to be, unless you find just a wealthy individual really likes you, they need something in return. Of course, they're not going to be expecting millions as such, but they need to get a little bit of exposure. So you're branding yourself and marketing their company. So you need to talk to them in their own terms, is what you're saying, about this amount of people are viewing, this is the exposure your business is going to get. Talk to them on their level instead of going, I'm a good golfer, I really want to make it. That's all about you. You kind of need to make it about them and what's in it for
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Well, you got to create a relationship for everyone, and you have to create in a way that everyone feels really involved in your journey. So however you do that, that's up to you. But you're really creating a group of people that want to be in. They're going to be in your inner circle,
Yeah.
and whether you like it or not, that's how it needs to be done. Because these people want people that will support you. They want to be really involved in your journey, so you have to make it. You have to make them feel involved. And once you get this kind of networking and group going, then from there you can expand and grow. And once you've really proven that you can create value for these people, being part of a professional's journey, that they might be in it to see you play the Open one day.
Mhm.
So you have to give them full access pretty much to what you're doing.
Yeah. Great. I'm going to move on because we've got so many to get through. We might have to make, well, let's not set it to part two at this stage, but we've got loads more. I'll just handle this one myself because it's pretty straightforward, but it is a good question. Where can you find competitions? So I'm going to guess this is from the amateur perspective, and the fact that we're in the UK, although I think it covers other regions as well. the first place I would look is Golf Empire. It's a website in the UK where, for example, myself and Kempo will look up and categorize it by scratch and then look for Central Scotland, Highlands, East Coast, West Coast. And I think any club that's connected to BRS or Club V1 will publish them there, and actually in advance. Like I can see competitions right up until September, October, and it's only February. So I would go on there first. But this is maybe a good point to say that it doesn't have to be scratch. It could be like an open, a men's open,
Yeah.
and
Gents Opens.
gents opens where Jordan's a big fan of because you can win good money at these events, and there's two positives to it. You're going to play a course potentially that you've always wanted to play at a reduced rate because it's always going to be cheaper than the green fee, no matter what. Even if it's an open at, they do want like Carnoustie and Kings Barnes, and it's expensive. It's like 400 quid or something. But to play one course might be 350 quid. So you're saving money regardless. And two, you're playing with a card in your hand on a different course, and you're getting these reps in. And I feel like at any level, you just need to learn to win, be under pressure, and get yourself in these situations. So yeah, I
Yeah.
would go on to Golf Empire.
You've got Golf Empire, then England Golf, Scotland Golf, whatever
Yeah,
county you're a member of. And we are quite blessed in Scotland and England that there's a lot of amateur circuits like the Northern Order of Merit around the north where you can play some top courses with some really good competition. So
yeah. So I keep an eye out. You can, I mean, you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be a senior scratch, which I think nowadays is like 4 and below. You could play a junior scratch with like between 5 and 12 handicap, and you can still win good prizes around decent golf courses. So keep an eye out for those. And it could be a good day out as well with your friends.
I would say, yeah, like play competitions. Like there's too many people out there who just practice and play here and there, or they play a lot their home course a lot, and they try and get their handicap down, and their target's a handicap. But play. This is where you really test and grow.
Mhm.
Playing these opens, men's opens, even like the a one dayers. This is where you'll know where you're at.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. And you might surprise yourself as well. You go into these places low expectations. You've never played the course before, and then you shoot a good score. So it's always worth doing. The next one is from
Weird name.
I can't find it. Oh, honestly, feel bad 'cause this guy asked me on Instagram. It's from C Meeks. Um, how to fix chipping yips 60 yards and in, and without making a podcast out of itself. Um, Rob, Jordan, has everybody here struggled with the chipping yips before?
yeah.
Just not me then.
Yeah.
Before I hand over to Rob and Jordan, obviously for me, there's two elements to it. There's the psychological and the technical. I'm not a psychological expert, far from it, but from a technical perspective, I can confidently say I don't know any good chippers who chip from the inside.
Yeah, there's a glass pane you can't cross, and I've never seen a good chipper get close to the floor as well.
Yeah, I've never seen a good chipper who has an in to out path or severely. Jordan might come back and say he completely disagrees, but I feel like this is where people get in a lot of trouble. Do you disagree, Jordan?
I don't know if I necessarily disagree, but just because you have an in to out path when you're chipping doesn't mean you're going to be a bad chipper. It just means you've probably worked on something for a long time where it's going to be exactly the same over and over again. I just think sometimes, without seeing someone's chipping, it's really hard to tell them what to do. But usually with chipping and things like this, a lot of people, it's mostly about attack angle and wrist angle throughout the swing. So if you're getting too wristy, that's going to affect your attack angle. And usually people with a chipping yips either have their attack angle going up for a chip, which means they're hitting the ground first, which means they're duffing it, or they can thin it. So it's all about controlling what's called your low point. So if your low point is ahead of the ball, you've got less chance of hitting the ground first or thinning the ball. So usually with chipping yips, it's their low point is too far back. So like you're behind the ball and you're getting a bit too wristy. So it's almost like you want to get your body weight in front of the ball and just eliminate the wrist, almost like a putting stroke. That's probably my best tip without seeing
Yeah.
someone chip.
So in short, get a lesson. That's probably a good start.
But okay,
Yeah.
to be fair, I should have said low point. The out to in or the in to out, whatever it is probably overcomplicating it. But I suppose I was saying if you've got that tendency, your low point's probably going to be too far back.
Yeah.
But I feel like good players always know how to control a low point. Same in bunkers, same with pitching, chipping. Um, so yeah, as you said, Jordan, there's a couple tips in there to control the low point. In terms of mentally, Rob, if you've ever had them before, how did you get over them mentally?
Yeah, I think, well, I had the putting issues at some point, but chipping as well. And it usually comes down to like the yips is the first problem is technical. It's not mental. So it's a technical problem. Then you hit a few bad chips. Then you lose your confidence. Then you start when you want to lose your confidence. Then you start doing some really weird things. And
Yeah,
then you feel like you've got the yips, that you've got like some ghost in you that's doing something weird, and that you're moving your body like you've got no control over what's happening. And it's all usually because, as Jordan pointed out, you've probably just got your low points too early, and then you're having to lift the club to make contact with the ball, which is a disaster in itself. And then from there, you feel like, because you're having to do that, you feel like your hands are doing an extra move, and where you that's why you think you've got the yips, but it's usually just because your weight's not forward, you're not hitting down onto the ball, and your body's not turning.
Mhm.
And if I could, and it's one of those three things that usually that is wrong, or all, or two out of the three, or usually even all three. Sometimes I've
It is
seen from some of
incredible.
us,
Yeah, it's
yeah, from
incredible
some
what
of us
yips
in
can
this
do to
group.
a grown man, isn't it, or a woman? It's broken a few
the
people.
yips don't discriminate.
No,
No,
But I
no,
think you're right. That sounds very familiar, Rob. It starts a technical issue and then it becomes a mental issue because you're freaking out because you've hit two duffs in a row, and then you go, "Oh, I don't know how to fix this." So, yeah,
yeah. And then
I've
because
seen brilliant players like um, a couple of guys at uni. I remember Jack Brown, who played in our team, struggle with the yips for a long time, and I just remember hitting chips and pitches over and over again, and just you obviously just get over it at a certain stage. And I think it's one of these things. If you get the yips, people then, although they want to fix it, maybe are scared to practice because it's not fun thinning and shanking chips over and over again. But
yeah.
you do just need to persevere.
Yeah, but you're right. If you start having even an inclination that you're getting a yips in any part of your game, go straight see a coach.
Mhm.
It's gonna save you sleepless nights, because it's usually just a technical problem
Yeah.
that's making you're gonna lose confidence, and then that's where the yips comes from.
Or even quicker, follow Joe Mayo on Instagram. You'll
Or
be fine.
I was actually gonna say it. Follow Joe Mayo. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Jordan, I might ask you this one, and it's from C Meeks as well, actually. What's your go-to method for handling pressure putts in competitions?
Um, I control my breathing quite a lot when I'm putting, especially in pressure situations. So sometimes for me, this is what works for me. So sometimes people will say, "Oh, don't stray away from your routine. You want to keep your routine the same as always." But if I'm not ready to hit a putt, I'm not going to hit a putt, whether that means I'm in my routine or not. So breathing properly for me, sometimes when I'm under pressure, putting is really important. So I'll take a couple extra seconds just to make sure that I'm as calm as possible. And then for actually hitting the putt, aim small, miss small. Pick something pick a target, pick as small, like a blade of grass or a mark where you're aiming, or if you're aiming at the hole, pick a spot at the back of the hole or whatever. So as long as you're kind of zoning in your focus and almost like trying to drown out everything else that's around you and the situation and stuff, and you're kind of as relaxed as you possibly can, then I think that's my type of advice. And that's kind of what I do. So
Yeah.
I think just trying to stay in the moment. And yeah, you've got to understand that, you are in that situation. It's good to be in that situation, but trying to stay as relaxed as possible, although that's quite hard to do. And actually, it's really easy to say. But I
Yeah.
think just my breathing for me just relaxes my whole body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned it before. It was Jack Cope who had on mentioned to me in uni that what he does, don't know if he still does it, but he told me at the time, and it seems to work somewhat for me, and I'm a terrible putter, is he takes in two deep breaths and then lets out one breath, like quite sustained over like 5 or 6 seconds, and it does just make you reset. It's just a sudden reset. It might only last for 5, 10 seconds, but that's all you need to hit the putt. And apologies, that was actually from How Low Can You Go podcast, who's good friends of ours. So I just got my
And
notes
then
mixed up.
another one to that is, I think what helps is keep the same pace to the routine. Keep the routine the same, but also keep the same pace. Move around the green the same pace. Don't rush it. Don't rush into the putt. And like I say,
Yeah,
control your breathing.
I would say on
Yeah.
that, routines are different. I think we can talk about routines probably in another podcast as well. But people, when you say routine, think you're a slow player.
Mm.
There are slow routines, but routines are still important. You can have a routine that's not slow. So
I think we talk as well. I mean, it's important to say that everyone gets nervous over putts. So we talk about Bridgman. He said he couldn't feel his hands. It's not like the pros and the top putters don't get nervous. They just manage it. So they've just learned ways to manage it.
and even then they couldn't. Like me, Roy McIlroy missed.
Exactly.
Any
So, you know,
points.
everyone's nervous. It's just
Yeah. So, and another question from How Low Can You Go podcast. If you had to build a player from scratch, which part of the game would you prioritize first? And I'm gonna go to Rob for a fairly quick answer, but don't know why I
We're
went
gonna go
a lot
if
quick.
I'd just be so good with the driver. I think that's it's a skill that if you don't have it, it would take so long to build it compared to any other part of the game.
Mhm.
So if you could be very good at one part of the game, I would just be very good at driving the golf ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we all agree if we're picking one thing and we're not contradicting any of our previous podcasts,
yeah, it goes back to last week,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
we'd
Yeah.
I would have to say driver. We've all said it. Me and Rob specifically, that's one of our regrets is that we didn't master driver or tech driver on when we were younger. And I definitely stick by that. And even when I feel like I'm having good driving seasons, I'm like, "Ugh, if I had put more work into this, I could be 2 clubs closer to the hole." So, no matter what, yeah, driver, just prioritize your driver. Um, Next one is from our good friend Matthew Fitz, 123. The best player we've ever played with. Um, Jordan, I'll start with you.
He won't. Start with Rob. He's
Start,
back.
yeah, start with
Yeah,
Rob.
sorry, my connection's not great.
Rob, best player you played with. Okay, I'll start. So Ethan, best player you played with. Good to see you've read the notes. Best player I played with was I'm gonna say best player now who's proven. I played with a lot of good players similar age to me. And Jordan, Rob, don't get your hopes up. It's not just used to that might go on to have great careers, but one that's had a pretty impressive career is a guy called Colin Moriarty. And he played on Challenge Tour, DP World Tour for a while. And actually, when I was a junior at Cairndhu, we had quite a popular pro-am where I think Dean Robertson, our coach, played it one year. Ian Woosnam's played it. It's an Irish PGA event with quite a high purse, so a lot of pros come over. And on the Wednesday before the pro-am, the Wednesday night, the junior team gets paired up with a pro, and the pros are still playing for money, and you're playing alternate shot with the pros over 9 holes, and it's pretty brutal. The first 3 holes are gross score, and then it goes to straight knockout. And if you tie a hole with someone else, it goes to a chip off. So I was paired with Colin Moriarty, and it was so impressive because he didn't hit it far. Probably hit it about 260, 270 off the tee from what I remember. He won the Walker Cup in 2003, won the Challenge Tour and the Euro Pro Tour, and he also qualified for and made the cut at the 2010 Open at St Andrews, which is a pretty cool career highlight. So, to say that I've actually played with, this doesn't include people I've caddied for, but played
Twice.
with. Yeah, he's definitely one that sticks out. Kempo,
I again playing in a Northern Order of Merit at Wallasey called the Frank Stable 30. It's a 36 hole. It's the 36 hole scratch event, and I was drawn with Alex Fitzpatrick. I think this was probably 2019, 2020, and he was very, very, very impressive. He lost 4 balls that day and shot level, so it wasn't his best day. But again, going on to someone who's proven, you know, he's proven himself on tour. He's consistent, so
He was very, very impressive. He lost 4 balls.
it's over 36 holes. So yeah, yeah, he was good to watch.
Rob.
I think there's two ways of putting this. The best pedigree I've played with is probably Marco Penge. Played with him the year he graduated from the Hotel Planner Tour. And obviously he's really pushing on at the minute, which is yeah, you could just see he's got like he is really a determined guy, and he wants it. Um, but the best player I've ever played with in terms of where I thought I've got absolutely no chance here, this guy is just that good, is probably Laird Shepherd. Not you, Ethan Campbell, but close, one time close. No, I mean Laird. He's a won the British turned pro. He's had loads of injury problems, but he's making a comeback. I heard this year. Wishing him really all the best. But he talent, skill, and hard work wise, my God, he is by far the best golf player I have ever played with. I mean, there's some days we play together now. It's like I am so far off what the control you have of the golf ball. Like this guy, he talent and he worked so hard. So I'd watch out for him. He could still do some good stuff in his game.
Yeah, it was quite an uneventful British Army one as well. When was it 8 down through 19 holes?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
5 down with 6 to go or 7 to go, maybe.
And the only time he was up in the match was the 38th hole. Absolutely insane. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think I have played with Laird, so maybe I should take. Sorry, Colin. And Jordan.
Most impressive player I've played with. I've played with Mark Penge. I've played with like Harry Hall as well. Played a lot of junior golf with those guys. I haven't played with them recently, but I'd probably say Harry Ellis. He won the British Am at Royal St George's, and just his swing, the way he was hitting the ball, and just like Rob said with Laird, the control he had over his ball, I was just like,
so
what chance have I got?
So it wouldn't be Maverick McNeely then?
Oh yeah, maybe Maverick McNeely.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
He's flying at the minute.
You forgot about Jordan. You only mentioned it about once a week.
He wanted me to think they'd forgotten.
Yeah. Nah, probably because me and Maverick shot the same score. I probably wouldn't consider him in that class, to be fair.
So Maverick McNeely's just as good as you then. That's who he would say. The best player he's played with is Jordan Sundborg.
Well, he probably would, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. No, yeah, he was really impressive. He was very good at getting the ball in the hole. But Harry Ellis was a different kind of swinger of the club, and watching him at the British Am when he won that one was crazy. I just thought, Christ, this is like serious golf, like proper golf. So
nice.
Yeah, maybe Maverick McNeely, to be fair, but
another one from Matthew Fitz. Between the four of us, take one part of the game: putting, chipping, irons, and driving.
Oh, build a player.
To build a player, and it's one part for each person.
Right.
And this is going to be tough, and I'll tell you why. Because
the correct answer is actually.
Can you be the caddy, Ethan?
And I'll tell you why it's tough. And I'm not even just playing to the gallery here, but me and Kempo are not good golfers, not good putters, probably not good golfers either, but we're not good putters. And Rob and Jordan are definitely better at driving and irons than us. So someone's going to have to fight over the chipping, and I'm going to be that guy. You can't give me the best putter. I can say I'm maybe the worst golfer, but I can say I'm the best putter.
I reckon Rob and Jordan should do this all, and we'll say if we agree or not. They can be quite
I'm trying
neutral.
to think which of Ethan's game we can take, which is the least worst part. How we're gonna manage to take Ethan's game and shoot level par here?
I'm gonna make a case. This is obviously when we're playing, like for me and Campbell, this is like the height of summer when we feel like, come on guys,
let's use our last game last week. Let's use that one.
Okay, I would still say, even though I played not as well obviously than I hoped, I would say my chipping, my bunker play, all that is pretty. There's no real worries there. I wouldn't say I'm not getting better because of my short game.
Don't have the yips.
Don't have the yips. I feel like I can still take on shots that I wouldn't normally, that other people maybe wouldn't take on in February. If you're a full-time job.
Yeah, I agree. I take you for chipping and Kemp for putting.
Yeah, Kemp for putting, definitely.
Definitely based on Thursday anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that new putter in the bag. It's lethal.
Yeah.
Who's taking driving and irons then?
Rob's probably a better driver of the golf ball than me.
I think we'll go, yeah, Jordan Irons and
Um,
me in the driving.
yeah.
So to
Yeah.
I'd say
summarize,
that's
And hopefully we'll hit all the greens so Ethan doesn't
Yeah.
have to hit a chip.
all right. Yeah, and I'd have to putt.
We'd hit nearly every green and shoot level bar.
just put in the hole every time. So to summarize, Fitzy, this one's for you. Rob driving, Jordan irons, Ethan chipping, and Kempo putting. And let's just leave it at that. And this is a bit rude of
We should do
Fitzy,
like
actually.
a 3-hole game once. Do with that player. See how it works out.
I don't
Yeah.
think Ethan would hit a shot.
I know. Yeah, you just hit all the greens and I'd free putt.
Yeah, you'll at least get a shot at least. And I felt a bit I felt a bit bad when Fitzy said this one's just directed at Jordan and Rob. And I wonder why. But it is for Jordan and Rob, how does playing for money affect your mindset?
Hang on a minute. Last week we played for money. I quite enjoyed it. Jimmy Jordan.
Yeah, I got my £9.60 on South African rand. It was great.
I've already spent my 20 quid.
Rob, I'll go to you. Obviously, Jordan, you'll have your thoughts as well. But Rob, you've done this for a few years now where you are, I don't want to say you're relying on playing well, but obviously you've got sponsorships, but the money clearly makes an impact, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I find it really hard to think about money when you're playing, though. I know, and some guys can be really focused on if I make one shot here, I'll make a grand. But I'm such an in the moment kind of guy that think money is so like outside of what you're doing because you're trying to make points, you're trying to finish as high up as the leaderboard as you can. You're also trying to hit a good shot, so you're having to pick targets, feel the wind, hit a number. So it's like it's so far removed as to think about money. And if you do think about money, then there's something probably wrong with your process and how you're approaching each shot. Like you might be thinking about it in between shots, but if you're doing the right things, it's borderline impossible to think about money while you're playing golf.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. I think you'd be very surprised if you asked all the professionals that are playing in an event how many of them think about the money. I'd be very surprised if even one of them said they were thinking about it.
Do you think
Did you Rory say? Did you see him when he made the putt on 18 and the reporter asked him, what do you think of that? Was that, or were you a bit disappointed with that? And then he's like, well, I won't be too disappointed making an extra 500 grand by making that putt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is it fair to say, I might be guessing here, but it'd be human instinct that if you'd only be thinking about the money, if you're having a bad season, you're struggling to make cuts, and all of a sudden the pressure is getting onto you. And if you're at high flying, maybe the money isn't what your primary focus is. Is that kind of fair to say? If you're a guy who's gotten to like August and he's barely made a cut and he doesn't know if he's going to get sponsorship the next year, like, do you still think that they're not really thinking about it?
I think whatever tour you're on, you're going to be thinking about money when after you're done playing, when the tournament's over, and maybe a little bit before you start playing. Like, well, what? Because no matter what position if you're playing terrible, you're thinking about I need money to keep my card. Or if you're playing well, you're thinking, oh, I need money to make so that I can get into top 20 hotel planner tour. Or even on a DP World Tour, you're thinking about, oh, I need to make this much so I can get in the top 10 and get the PGA Tour cards, the top 10 PGA Tour cards. And same with even like Scotty Scheffler, he's probably not thinking of money, but he's thinking, all right, I need to play well here so I stay, make money or points and stay world number one. So it doesn't matter what level of the game you're at, you're going to be thinking, even if you're, missing cuts on satellite tours, you're thinking you're always thinking of like, I need to do this to be able to do this, because it's always linked to your outcome goals on the season.
So is it fair to say then, if you're a good pro, you're playing at that standard, you're always playing the long game? Of course, the money's great, but you're playing to get into next week. You're playing for the points order merit, and the money just follows. It's consequential. It's not what you're mainly focusing on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
That'd be a good summary there, Ethan.
Very much. I've played for money loads of times and I lose all the time. Fitzy's asked another question. I think this is actually the final one, so we're doing quite well. Well, we've got a bonus question at the end. So remind me to ask that. But finally from Fitzy, and this is a bit of a brutal one, but for context of those who don't know our friend Fitzy, he's a caddy on the Asian Tour. So he knows a lot about this. And he has asked, at which point should a pro call it a day? Similar topic, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. I've spoken to a few guys that work on like tour trucks for some companies and stuff, and it's really hard to tell someone to call it a day. Like really hard to tell someone to call it a day because you never know when your next best week's going to be, or this, that, and the other. But it's just all results based, like any other sport. If you're not getting the results, then it's the same with the job. If you're not getting the results in your job, then you're probably going to get sacked, and it's really hard to sack yourself from something that you love doing. So, if it could all come tumbling down in terms of your results don't plan out the way you thought they would, then sponsors start dropping you and this, that, and the other. Sometimes you don't have a choice to call it a day because you don't have the revenue or the sponsorship to keep going. So I think most of the time that's the case, but I think it'd be I'd almost say it's a bit, bit weird if someone calls it a day when they still have the opportunity to either have like status on a tour or things like that, or they just stop falling in love with the game and stuff like that. So I think if people still have the opportunity to do it, they're probably not going to call it a day.
Golf's a weird one, isn't it? Because it's not as intense and physical as other sports, and you've got players like Richard Bland that won his first tour event after nearly 500 attempts at nearly 50. And he could have probably had so many times in his career where he thought, let's just throw the towel in here. But he didn't. And you've always got the opportunity with golf to get better at other parts of the game. You might be getting shorter off a tee, but there's always, you can still be the best putter in the world. Anyone, so there's different aspects of the game you can improve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose,
I think
Rob,
if you're
you don't need to name names, Rob, but do you know of people who've called it a day, maybe after a couple of years, and the reasons why they did it?
Yeah, I think so. There was a few studies done on this. Basically, if you haven't really made it to the DP World Tour within 4 years, your odds of making it are like so low. They're like under 10%. So your time frame is really you've got 4 years to make it to the DP World Tour. If by that point you've not, it's usually probably a good time to call it a day, unless you're living comfortably, like money's not really
Yeah,
a
is that
problem.
a
Then you can
financial
still go.
point, Rob? Is it usually a financial point that
No,
people drop away?
that's more quality of your own game. Like
Yeah.
within
Okay.
4 years, you'll have a good basis to know if you've got what
Yeah.
it takes to be a professional golfer.
Right.
And then that's more ability wise.
Yeah.
So then if by those 4 years you've not made it and you're not living a comfortable life, like financially, like some guys haven't made it, but they've got great sponsors. They're working maybe on the side and they're fine, or they're doing hosting events or whatever, or they've got some kind of income stream that's coming through. Then at that point you can probably still do it, but your odds of making it are under 10%. So it's more like you're in a job that you're probably not going to make it, but big time, but you're in it because it's comfortable and it's nice, but you're not really going to upgrade, and that's going to be your life for a while. Whereas, if you're really, if you fall in, like Jordan said, if you fall in out of love with the game, like that's your sign that it's not going to get any easier. Even if you make it to the DP World Tour, then there's no like guarantee that you're going to enjoy the game there as well. Like studies, like it actually suggests that you're probably going to hate it more, like in terms of like the burnout and the travel and everything is even worse on the main tour. So that's even, loving the game is as long as you loving the game, having an income stream where you can live like a normal, comfortable life where you're not making like huge sacrifices, living in a tent, or you're still living at home or whatever. You need to, and you need to also show within those 4 years that you've got what it takes to make it.
Yeah, I was going to say you kind of touched on it there. There's a big human element to this, which is I'm guessing most players who need to make it within 4 years because they might be coming out of college or they're in early 20s, it's fair to say most of those people don't have commitments. So you might not have a young family, you might be living at home, as you say. So there's the ability, but there's kind of like you get to your mid 30s and you've got two kids and you're just about making cuts, and your wife turns around and goes, I mean, like, when we're not struggling to pay the mortgage, like, when you're being offered a coaching role somewhere else for like 40 grand and you can be at home. And I think, yeah, it is tough. People think obviously just being out in tour, but we know from you boys, like, it's not always, it is great. And people would, I mean, you don't take it for granted, obviously, but people forget about I suppose, the family aspect of that as well.
Yeah, I think in short, the easiest way to describe it would be if being a professional is making your life worse, then that's usually a time to call it a day, pretty much.
It's a pretty unforgiving sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was good. We do have one bonus question,
You seem
and
quite excited about this one, Ethan.
it's on Instagram from @AaronMary_M,
Oh yeah,
which, who's
You a
that?
fan of the show?
big fan of the show.
Big fan of the show.
This is Kempo's girlfriend, Erin, who's asked us this question, and it is
He'll be happy
this
about
is,
this, by
this is
the
a very this is a very technical one now, so we have to take our
way.
time.
Right.
What golf club would you be and why? And I'm going to start because I've been thinking about
Oh,
this.
you've
Thank you,
prepped
Aaron,
about
for
this.
I've been thinking long and hard of this about this, and I'm
Either
going to,
either knew the answer before the question.
yeah, I was like, finally someone asked it. All right. I'm going to say I am a 2-iron,
Oh dear.
because although I want to be aggressive and I want to take things on, ultimately I will probably have a err on the side of caution. So when we're talking about hitting 2-irons off tees versus drivers, I'm probably a 2-iron.
Rob, you can go next.
I would say I'm probably a 6-iron. Just a reliable club. A club you kind of take to the range. You know what you're gonna get. There's nothing really too crazy is gonna happen. And but you can, once you're hitting it well, you can really have a good time with it.
We'll talk about golf, Rob. But you've also said before that just because you can flush a 6-iron doesn't mean you're going to make it in tour. So if there's an overlap there.
I can't believe you remember that as well. So, guys, you like my girlfriend. Remember when you said that, Robert?
Jordan.
Probably a little bit similar to Rob. I feel like I'm like a 9-iron. Just kind of, I'm in the bag. I just plod along. I do my own thing. Doesn't really matter whether you hit me good or not because you've got an 8 or a pitching wedge. Do you know what I mean?
Very good.
That's very good. And Kempo, we'll leave the last but
It
not
won't be as
least.
funny as that. Probably a 3 wood, because you should have probably just hit driver.
I think that's fair to say. Okay, well, I think that's everything. I was a bit worried the first half there that we weren't going to get through them all, but we've done basically an hour, maybe just under. So, thanks for everyone who sent your questions in. I hope you learnt a lot there. And I was going to say what we're doing next week, but honestly, I have no idea just yet. I keep asking Rob to get one of his friends on, but I'm starting to think Rob doesn't have any friends. So
Yeah, don't even count you as a friend, Ethan. You're off the list.
So no, we'll work it out. Don't worry, we're very dependable. This has gone out a little bit. I think about a day later. I'm going to post it tonight, so this is Wednesday night. And I'll reply to everybody on the socials to say the answers on the podcast. So, yeah, I hope you appreciate our insight. And if you've got any other questions, we can just reply to them in the comments because I'm going to put out clips and stuff like that. So, and yeah, I suppose apart from that, we will see you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.